Okay, hi, it's Monday. I hope you're having a good Monday. It's turned hot again here, but I guess spring's here. But anyway, happy Monday. Um, a question I'm hearing a lot of these days is, what am I going to do? Everything that's happening is out of my control, okay? And the answer is, it was never in your control or mine. We had no control over situations like this. So what if we ask ourselves a better question? What are we going to do? What are we going to do with this gift of time? That could be the first line in a new story that we tell ourselves. And that we've been given a gift of time. Maybe not one we asked for, but it's still a gift. And instead of fighting it or complaining about it or worrying about it or just, I don't know, my kids would say being pooky about it. But what if the story we begin telling ourselves is that we can sink into it, that we can luxuriate in it, that we can marinate in it, that it's an unexpected but maybe welcome or maybe needed gift of time. And yes, it comes with some hardships. But changing the story we're telling ourselves about that will actually give us some better perspectives, better ideas, better ways to deal and navigate with those hardships. We could sit around waiting for things to go back to normal, but at some level, we already know things are never going to be the same. And we can start preparing. We can start preparing for that. We can look at that, it's never going to be the same, as something very fearful. Or we could look at it as one of the greatest opportunities of our lives. We can look at this as a time of great destruction. Or, again, we can choose a different word, we can choose a different perspective, and look at it, I've got a good one. We could look at it as the great unbuilding, the beginning of transformation, both personally and collectively, or even physically, because we clear the land before we build a house. There's a clearing that has to happen for anything new to come. And regardless, now think about this, regardless of your personal, political, or religious beliefs, we have this in common. We all have had this sense that the world needs a giant change. Now, we probably weren't in agreement about what that change needed to look like, and that's okay. And what we also have in common, so let's keep looking at commonalities, what we also have in common is that we never thought it would look like this. We never thought it would start like this. This part is out of our control. But think about this. All of us, we as humanity, we have all been praying for, meditating on, asking for some great change in the world. And it's out of our control how that happens. The truth is, though, let's repeat this, okay? The truth is that every act of creation, and we can see what's going on now as an act of creation, but they all begin with some form of destruction, this unbuilding, a breaking down of the old order in order to make way for the new. And yes, we've all been saying we needed something new. So think about the caterpillar. I love caterpillar. Actually, I love butterflies. But what happens inside the cocoon is completely out of control of the caterpillar, or the butterfly too, for that matter. When that caterpillar goes into the cocoon, which, remember, is my own chosen word for what's happening now instead of isolation or stay at home or quarantine. Those all sound scary, kind of like prison. So cocooning has been my chosen word. But inside the cocoon, where the caterpillar becomes a butterfly, when the caterpillar goes in there, it has no control. It literally dies. The old caterpillar dies. It actually dissolves into this like messy goop, but it breaks down completely. It unbills. I think I'm loving this word. It unbills. You could even say that the caterpillar is destroyed. But then in something that really, it seems like magic, or at least it does to me, but it's really just a normal, completely normal chemical reaction that happens in nature. That goo begins transforming. Those cells begin recombining, and they become wings. They turn into wings. They grow. Those wings grow from the debris of the destruction, from the mess, and the butterfly emerges from that mess. And what the caterpillar has called the end of the world, death, destruction, annihilation, the butterfly, and we all love butterflies, but the butterfly calls that birth, rebirth, regeneration, transformation. And I think our cocoon right now is something that requires our full attention. We need to go into it just like the caterpillar does, go into it. And at the same time, we need to take our minds off the destruction, whether it's the destruction that's out there or the destruction that's happening within the cocoon. But we need to get our focus off the anxiety and maybe the things that we're feeling breaking down, at least for a little while. And there are all sorts of things that we can do to distract ourselves. Something like, just something simple. A jigsaw puzzle. Boy, that takes your attention. Or a good book. Something that just really calls you in. Binging on the news doesn't count. That's only going to make things worse. But if you like TV, a really good movie, that can do the trick for you. What you're looking for is something that creates literally an island in time. An island in time where you can be fully present. Not worried about what's out there or what's out there, but fully present in this moment with this other thing. Give it your full attention, your full focus. And that's to distract yourself from just a minute, to break your thought pattern from just a minute, or a little while, 15 minutes maybe, or an hour, or whatever, from this very discombobulating situation. And I would really encourage you to use this island in time, the sanctuary, to pull back from the destruction and keep telling yourself the story of what happens inside the cocoon, to the caterpillar and the butterfly and the beauty that emerges. Pain, yes. Destruction or unbuilding, yes. Deconstructing, yes. But take all of that into your island in time and pull that back. Pull that back. Pull that back. And focus on the beauty. Make this a story of hope. Hope. And make it your own. Make it your own. Make this cocoon your incubator for your own personal transformation, because personal transformation then ripples out. And collectively, that creates transformation in the world. And what better time than now? Now, when we have this gift of time, this unexpected and maybe unasked for gift of time, what better use to put it to? And since this is beyond our control, it is, will you join me in embracing the cocoon? will you join me in telling yourself a story of hope and wisdom and prudence and perseverance, reinvention? You know, stay focused if you can. No, I would encourage you to stay focused and eager on the reemergence as a butterfly for yourself, for the world, for each of us as individuals, and then for the world. That's how it happens. We're not changing the facts by doing this. There is a pandemic out there. We're watching lots of old systems that we've counted on. We're watching them break down. That's out of our control. What we're doing is changing the stories we're telling ourselves about that so we personally can get better meaning out of what these facts mean, and it's a form of comforting ourselves. And when we feel more comforted, we have more energy, more focus, more ability to see options and resources in front of us. I mean, they're there anyway, but when we change that focus, we have the ability to see them instead of hiding them behind our fear and our worry. That's not to say fear and worry aren't natural. They are. They're just not helpful. So let's take these facts. Let's begin telling ourselves the story of the butterfly. Let's begin seeing each of us, ourselves individually, as these butterflies. And let's tell ourselves a new story about these facts. We'll tell a story because the story itself that we tell ourselves, that is in our control. We have total command of that story. So I love you. I love you very much. Have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you next time.